welcome to another video. So I just want to tell you today that you have to have the right attitude to flourish, the right attitude to make sound decisions, the right attitude to not be led by your emotions, the right attitude to grow, the right attitude to start something that you never done, the right attitude to write something that you never wrote. So again, you have to have the right mindset with the right attitude. Some of the times we're making sound decisions while we're in the dungeon. We're making sound decisions when we're mad, when we're angry, when we're frustrated. You're making decisions based on that. They're not even sound. So I erase the sound part. You're making decisions when you're angry. You're making decisions when you're upset, when you're frustrated at your job. You're making decisions that makes you want to quit that job because you're so frustrated, because you're so angry. Meanwhile, your business have not even started. Meanwhile, the ideas that you had in your mind has not even started. So because you want to be an entrepreneur so bad, because you want to write the book, or you want to do stuff that you should have already done while you had that job, because you're so frustrated at people at your job, now you decide to quit your job and then become an entrepreneur. But the best thing you could have done, the best thing you could have done was start that thing while you had your job. The best thing you could have done was worked on that book while you had that job. Look for another job while you had that job. Start your YouTube channel while you have that job. So to all my fellow entrepreneurs out there, or who's ever on the journey to starting their own business, do not quit your job, okay? Sometimes we make crazy decisions, like quitting our job before we pay off our debt, quitting our job before we started the book, quitting our job before we started our YouTube channel, quitting our job before we paid several months of rent in advance, quitting your job before you paid off your car, quitting your job before you paid off your mortgage. It's stuff like that. I remember last year, I remember a lot of folks was quitting their jobs, and they were making it a habit about quitting their jobs. They were making it like a good thing, like it was good to quit their jobs. It is not good, because sometimes the enemy, okay, what I found is that through a testimony from Life is Spiritual Ministries, I found that the enemy could put in your head to quit your job. That is right. The enemy could put in your head to quit your job. If you're a minister, if you're a prophet, or if you're a speaker, you're speaking at a church or whatever it may be, and then you quit this job because you think it's God that told you to quit your job, but now you're compromising your messages because you want tithe in the church. You're compromising your messages because you're trying to get monetized quicker. You're compromising your messages because you're just trying to bring money in. So again, quitting your job is not wise. So sometimes when you're in the dungeon, do not make any decisions. I'm not sure if it was Myron Golden who taught us that, but what I did learn is not to make quick decisions when you're at your lowest point. Don't make any sound decisions when you're mad, when you're upset, when you're angry. So one of the biggest things that I regret until this day is I quit my job so suddenly. It was a great job, and this is not recently. I'm just telling you based on a story that happened 2 years ago before I got married and moved to Georgia. It was a great job. It was at Whole Foods actually, and it wasn't bad at all. It was part-time, and the bi-weekly checks that I was receiving from it was actually quite cool. So I quit it because the managers I had at the time was new, and it was just so frustrating. And instead of giving it to God and asking him to take care of it and praying about the situation, I was led by my emotions. I was led by my flesh, and I just upped and quit. And until this day, that's one of the biggest companies I wish that I didn't quit. It's actually a really good company to work for. So again, when you're at your lowest point, when you're frustrated with your managers, with your parents, with anybody, don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. The worst thing you can do is make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotions. I know as women, it can be kind of hard not to be led by our emotions, but it is very important that we start practicing emotional intelligence, because at professional jobs, at work, we have to keep it straight professionally. We cannot let anybody stray us away emotionally, stray us away from the gift that God has given us, which is patience, which is kindness, love, peace, gentleness, meekness. I pray that you get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.